He did a really, really good job of, and from what I understand, actually, you're talking about being worried about Damian Priest. Don't be. I've actually been reading some dirt sheets, and apparently his performance and helping Bad Bunny do so well in this match has gotten the WWE backstage viewing him as a main event. They're gonna start pushing Damian Priest as the main eventer. Well, because he was able to make somebody who had very little training look like a star. Dude, I popped so good when Carlito appeared. I mean, come on. I think I said Booch. Now that's cool.
And I think I said that's a way. And obviously, it was great to see Carlito. Des and I both have history with Carlito out of the ring, so we met him on the we worked with him on the Indies, so it was great to see Carlito. Savio Vega, I was shocked to see him. Hope to God he gets inducted to the Hall of Fame. I was shocked when I researched and found out he wasn't in yet. I'm like, that dude needs to go in. Overall, and I'm going to say this before I go any further, because I don't want any misunderstandings. Overall, I enjoyed this match. I thought it was very well done. I felt like psychology-wise, these guys kind of knew what they were doing. Like, they had Bad Bunny doing the New Jack thing, bringing the shopping cart full of weapons down there. ECW fans know what I mean by that. And it makes sense because, with all due respect to Bad Bunny, an athlete he is not. And I've done research. He has no athletic background of any kind. His only athletic ability is what he did in that ring. But as far as like being a legit athlete, he has no history. He never played football, never played basketball, none of that. So
now he
I
is
didn't think he was
athletic.
Yes, I said he was. I said his only athletic ability was this. So it made sense for him to have the weapons. The guy who's not the athlete should have the weapons in this match to beat down Damian Priest.
Oh, yeah.
Now, there were only two spots, and only two, that did not fit well with me. Other than that, I enjoyed the match. The first spot was at one point they're fighting out on the floor, and then at one point they're climbing on this like electrical box or something, and they went through a table. Now, in the world of wrestling in general, that should wrap up the match right there. Because, again, Bad Bunny is not a wrestler. And when you're a non-wrestler, non-athlete, you should not be equally as strong as the wrestlers. So the fact that he got back up again after being put through a table, not smart. Because now you're setting the bar for, basically for a wrestler to go through that now, you'd have to powerbomb from the roof. Because if you're... So that's the first problem. Hold on, let me finish. I'll get you to every one thing. And then the second thing that annoyed me was the finish. And I'll tell you why. Because at one point, Damian Priest went for a choke slam, and then Bad Bunny countered with a roll-up. If Bad Bunny was going to go over, that should be the finish. Instead of having him definitively beat him 1, 2, 3 in the middle of the ring like that. So that part didn't sit well with me. And like I said, because, again, I'm going into the psychology and believability. Again, I applaud Bad Bunny for what he did in the ring. But when you're analyzing wrestling, the finish should have been done a different way, and that table spot should have never took place. Take those out, the match is phenomenal.
I'm going to have to disagree with you on the point, and here's why. Because, first off, Damian Priest also went through that table. That's the first thing. And Damian got up a lot faster. And then after that moment is when all the interference happened. So Bad Bunny had plenty of time to recover. Okay. So they made up for the table spot that way. You have to think about that fact. They did both go through that table. It wasn't just one.
Yes, I mean, they both went through the table, but again, Damian Priest is a wrestler. I expect him to get that.
And then Damian Priest got up for his own volition. And then you got to realize Damian Priest got up for his own volition right there. Bad Bunny did not. Damian Priest picked him up.
Okay.
So there was something different there, right? So they made up for that point with further storytelling. So the psychology there was fine. Now the finish, once again, yeah, he beat him definitively 1, 2, 3, but it was once again after a whole lot of interference. It was not a It was not I just came back and won. It's 15 fucking people popped in, interfered in the match, and then I made a big move to win. So you have to look at it from two separate perspectives there. Now, if he had won this match and just kind of come back and then got the definitive win, like you're 100%, I'd be with you. The finish was not good. It would be bad for him, but he didn't. He had a lot of help, a lot of backup that helped him get this win. So it wasn't like it was a true one-on-one match. It was factions and what it was is the LWO beat the Judgment Day. It wasn't so much that Bad Bunny beat Damian Priest. It was the fact,
right?
The way that worked.
100%. I'm on board. I see both of your points of both very important points. Booch, I thought you raised a really good point. That's why when you dropped off for a few seconds, and I said, I don't know. The way that they've been handling Damian Priest as of late, it's a little sloppy. He's lost 2 in a row. I know he has the Judgment Day there to protect him and pick him up, and Mommy's doing fairly well, and Finn's doing great right now. He's in the hunt.
Funny enough. Funny enough, I'm seeing some stuff that Finn might be leaving the Judgment Day.
Some stuff on the dirts? Okay.
Yeah, I'm just light rumors, not a whole lot of details yet about it. But from what I'm understanding, because they're wanting to push Damian Priest, and because of this match, once again, he was able to make Bad Bunny look fucking phenomenal. Because of this match and some other stuff that's been going on, they're wanting to push Damian Priest as a headliner. And they're talking about removing Finn Balor and having him taken out of the Judgment Day. I've also heard a slightly less likely rumor that when they bring back Bray Wyatt, that he's going to come back with the cult leader gimmick again and might be returning to take over the Judgment Day.
That could be interesting. We got to keep it moving though for time's sake. We'll get back to that on future episodes though, because lots to be talked about there.
Yeah, I rolled the dice with Io Sky. This is where Dez got the lead. This played a major role in him keeping the title. I will say, overall, very good match. Bianca obviously become the longest reigning champion. That's a good thing, I guess. But I felt like the interference could have worked. Like Bayley holding the hair and Io Sky hitting her finisher for the 1, 2, 3 would have been a perfect way to get the victory. It would have the crowd would have popped in Puerto Rico because they were high on Io and wanted Bianca to die in a fire because that's how much hatred they had for her. But the only thing about the match that bothered me, really, really bothered me, was the one-arm gorilla press slam. Upset me, and I'll tell you why. First of all, you can clearly tell she's not holding her up. Io's got the arm on the shoulders. And she's trying to sell the arm, and I give Bianca credit for trying to sell. Here's the problem. You notice when she does the press slam, Io lands flat on her face. That was sloppy and unsafe. And that is a reputation you don't want to have in wrestling. And I'm not even ruling that as an accident because Bianca should have known better than to try a stupid move like that with one arm. I understand accidents happen. I can give passes sometimes. But that was a stupid, reckless thing to do. And Bianca better never try that again. And I think every woman in the back should tell her, never do that again. Because that is unsafe.
You need to stop and listen to something here. That is equally on the person taking the move as it is receiving it. She could, as soon as she felt her front side going down, Io could have tilted forward, rolled, landed on her, took the bump on her back instead of her front, and it would have been so much safer. The move itself, the second it started to go any slightly wrong, and she had time, plenty of time, she could have made that adjustment, and she did not. A move like that falls on both the giver and the receiver. If you do not both work together to make the move work, it's going to fail. And that is what happened here.
It epically failed.
Yeah, of course I got it right. But it was one of those deals where I don't feel like they're doing anything good for Omos. He didn't need another loss. I mean, yeah, he beat he lost to Brock Lesnar and then he's losing to Seth Rollins. He's going to build a reputation as someone who loses the big match. And and with that he will lose his credibility as a star, as a big part of the show. And I love Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins could have taken this loss and been perfectly fine. But
Yeah.
I also knew better. Seth Rollins wasn't going to take this loss because Omos is never going to be that main event player.
Obviously, I agree with Dez to an extent. I also picked Seth Rollins, but I am going to say this. If Omos was going to lose, this was the way to do it. Where, like, example, the stomp, it didn't even phase him. Like, his neck is still there. So it's showing that Seth had to pull tricks out of nowhere to get it done. Like, Omos would not stay down. The Giant was strong, so Seth had to resort to the stomp off the top to end it because nothing else was working. So psychology wise, like I said, I agree that Omos shouldn't take another loss. But if he was going to lose, that is exactly the way you beat somebody like that. Hopefully, going forward, Omos starts winning the big matches instead of just taking out jobbers left and right, because he needs a big match win. But at least with Seth, they did it the right way.
Oh, I agree. It was done the right way. The match was good. It was a good match. I'm not dissing on Omos at all. But storyline wise, if they keep doing this, he's not going to be taken seriously.
Absolutely. I thought it was a good triple threat match. Like I said, usually not a fan, but I knew Theory was going to win. There wasn't a doubt in my mind. I thought, I liked the finish. I did think there were some aspects that were a little disorganized, but that happens in triple threat matches, especially when, some people are coordinated and most of them aren't. The way I looked at it, if Theory was going to win, that was the perfect way to do it. Throw Lashley out of the ring, get the 1, 2, 3, because it's what a heel would do, and it works because he's in the ring with two big behemoths. So Austin Theory needs to be the smart guy in the match, not the strong guy in the match. And again, like I said, the guy came off a win against Cena. He needed the win tonight, and we'll see where he goes as far as whether or not he drops that title to go for a different one, or if they just have him be U.S. champion for a little while longer.
I called the finish of this. I said that the two big guys were going to take each other out, and Theory was going to pick up the scraps, and that's exactly what happened. This was a no-brainer to me.